He's been in. He was Leatherface, okay, in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre the beginning in 2006. He was in Street Fighter 1994. Okay, he was in the program 1993. Hudson Hawk 1991. Batman Returns 1992. Okay, Pearl Harbor 2001. Any Given Sunday 1999, and you also Firefly episode The Train Job 2002, and lots of other TV series he's been on as well. So man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Every rep starts with fuel. Helix cream of rice, clean carbs, zero sugar, fast digesting energy that hits quick, fuels hard, and never sits heavy. 27 grams of pure carb power, nothing but rice and real flavor. Proudly made in Canada, built for champions. Grab yours now with code MuscleDiscord. Helix Foods, fuel the work, own the stage.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Muscle Discord, and this is episode number 10 on the Real Deal podcast with Chris, the Real Deal Cormier, and man, we got a special guest, Andrew Bryniarski, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show, man.
You know I do anything for you.
Hey, so for the people listening out there, if you can't hear him, it's because his beard is covering his mouth, so he can't. He can't. It sounds like somebody's trying to kill him, but I think that's what it's going to be today.
I hope everybody can hear me.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Yeah, man. That's so. Let me introduce everyone to Andrew. He's got quite the resume. Okay, he's been in several movies, so I'm going to list some of them off just to bring everyone up to speed. So he's been in. He was Leatherface, okay, in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre the beginning in 2006. He was in Street Fighter 1994. Okay, he was in the program 1993. Hudson Hawk 1991. Batman Returns 1992. Okay, Pearl Harbor 2001. Any Given Sunday 1999, and you also Firefly episode The Train Job 2002, and lots of other TV series he's been on as well. So man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Some bodybuilding.
Some bodybuilding too. We'll get into that as well. So he's got him and Chris know each other. So yeah.
Yeah.
I've been knowing Real Deal since 1989, 88, 89, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, man. So just so the audience that don't know you.
I saw his whole ride. I saw Real Deal's rise, his whole ride. All of that.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, man. It was very cool, bro.
From Flex Wheeler's training partner and best friend to going further than Flex Wheeler. Back in the day, the Real Deal rose above, man. That's why he's a legend. Always impressed us.
Thank you, man. Hey, so tell the audience how you got started in the movies, and you left bodybuilding, and you got a break out there in California, and you started your movie career.
That's right. Well, I mean, I didn't leave bodybuilding. I was in the gym with you twice a day for 20 years. But yeah, that's when it started. I was at Gold, and probably just got done eating with you at the firehouse, and somebody called the front desk and said, "Oh, we need some big guys to be in a movie." And I had only been out here for a very short time, maybe 6 months. And 20 years old, and I thought they were kidding. I'm like, that's somebody just called and wanted people for a movie, right? And then they're like, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I thought I was just joking, being a goof. Oh yeah, that's me. I'm the guy for the movie. And they were like, well, here, and I'm like, what's this? He said, don't you want the address? How are you gonna go if you don't have nowhere? He was like, the movie. He said you were the movie.
A little loud. I can't hear that well.
Yeah.
So I was at the desk at Gold, and they got a call, and they were like, "Oh, we need some big guys for a movie." And I was young and brash, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." I'm the guy you need for the movie. Let's come on, I'm ready. And then they handed me a piece of paper. I thought it was a goof, because I grew up in Philadelphia. I had only been out there about 6 months, and that was like a fantasy world. That was unheard of. That's never happened to anybody in my world that I came from. So they hand me a piece of paper with an address on it. And I'm like, what's this? And they're like, that's where you got to go tomorrow. And I'm like, go for what? And they're like, aren't you going to do the movie? You said you wanted to do the movie. It was you. And I'm like, what are you, seriously? They want me to, wow, let's do it. Let's do the movie. So that was the start. And I was an extra on this film set in a big fight scene and it was in the China Club, Chris, back in the day.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
China Club Monday nights, that was when Tone Loc was getting shot at with Uzis out of a limo and shooting back at the Germans and all this crazy stuff. That was a trippy little place. And but I was hanging out there all the time. That was like the second home to me. And my friends were all the bouncers, so I was hanging out there. I was very familiar with the club. So we're shooting this fight scene and this bar scene in the club that I'm usually hanging out at. And I'm like, this is crazy, like, it's like I'm just watching people do what they're doing, sitting at the bar, like we got the China Club running for ourselves, but they're shooting this thing and people are interacting and doing scenes, like different scenes, in this film, and I'm just taking it all in and watching it, and I'm like, this is fucking crazy, this is just, and I watched one guy, I don't know if I should say his name, but he opened up my whole creative world. I was watching our boy Tom McGee, great physique, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Strong man, and God bless his soul. Not much
From
of an actor.
Canada, right?
Not much
Yeah,
of an
Tom
actor.
McGee.
Yeah.
He was famous for that fight scene with Brian Bosworth at Stone Cold.
Oh yeah. That's
Later,
what's
but
up.
I'm watching. I'm like 20 years old. And I'm watching this guy, and he's taking all this time, and everybody's getting frustrated. And all he's got to do is say a couple, lines. He's like it's rocket science to this guy. He just can't figure out how to say some words. And I'm like, me, Chris, with a loss for words at the club. Back in those days, there was no loss of words for me being in my
Right.
face. That's how I was like the mayor of that place. So I'm like, you guys want to save a bunch of money next time? Hire me instead, and I'll make everybody's day easier. And they're like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Andrew Bryniarski. Who are you? Nice to meet you. They told me the director was the guy with the hat. And if I wanted to get lines, I had to talk to the guy with the hat. So I seen the guy with the hat. Now I'm talking to him. And he's like, who are you? And he's staring at me because I was a freak, Chris. Back then. I mean,
Oh
come on.
yeah, you're the big bastard.
First lean, 300 plus pound guy, and I was 20 years old. Brian Bosworth was getting all this, like, for his look and all this attention. And he was like a little midget, like 220 pounds, 222 pounds. I would crush him and I'd steal his girl, move into his house, eat his food, whatever I want to do. Like, I'll take everything from him. So I'm like, no problem. And he's like, where did you come from? And he's staring at me up and down. And I'm like, Philadelphia.
That's it.
So,
Cool.
that movie wrapped up. They paid me, fair and square. It was more money than I would have made working bouncing at some club, which was, like what, that was like when you first got to town. It was like, the same
That's
thing.
what you did.
Big guy,
That's what you
young guy.
did.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna go, work the club, bounce the club, easy gig, right? Make the money.
That's what we all did at Roxbury.
So I got paid, and it was good money. It was better money than I would have made, working at the door there. And I was like, okay, cool, and like a week goes by, and I get a call from the production office, and they're like, we need you to come in, and I'm like, come in for what? I thought you guys were done shooting the movie, and they're like, we are done shooting the movie, but we're doing payroll, and we have to get some information so we can pay you. And I'm like, oh, I was already paid. you know, because I didn't really do anything. I just, you know, I had a couple of, you know, but I did ad lib some stuff, throw in a couple lines, you know, have some, you know, I had to get involved, you know, like I was, like, wait till they get a load of me, the ham and the cheese, you know, the visual thing. Look at me, I'm something me, and that was truer than anything back in the day. And I'm like trying to figure out how to make that work. You know, like back in our day, Chris, it was like the talk was the keyword was market yourself. You have to learn how to market yourself. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And none of us really knew because it was such a new game. And there was nobody that was going to be able to tell any of us because we were up there, you know, in the thin air ourselves. And so we had to figure it out. We were the warriors, you know. So um, they called me in and said, we have to pay you. And I said, you know, I was paid. I don't want to get these guys mad at me. They're friends of mine, you know. I knew them from the club before we did the movie. They're like, no, we need you to come in. It's a SAG thing. And I'm like, what's SAG? And what's going on here?
Just checking out some photos here while we go through this.
Oh, is that, you did that? Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, office, and apparently, you know, because I did what I did and like I upgraded myself with the lines that I threw out of my mouth, you know, just to be interesting. I figured it out right away, like, you know, just be as interesting as possible and, you know, which really meant entertaining as possible. So that's what they told me once you know, you talk in a movie, then you're eligible for the union. And I'm like, why would I want to be in a union? I'm thinking like Teamsters and Jimmy Hoffa, you know, and
Jimmy Hoffa.
I'm from Philadelphia, you know, Pennsylvania, steel, you know, state, like, you know, union. That meant, you know, I was like, I don't want anything to do with any union. I'm not, you know, loyal to any union. They're like, no. And I'm like, the actors union. Why would I do that? Why would I join the actors union? I don't need to be in a union. They're like, well, if you want to get paid to act and have, you know, lines and bigger roles in movies, then you need to be in a union. I'm like, to get lines in movies and have, like, you know, star in a movie, you have to be in a union. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, how do I get in a union? And they're like, you know, you already did it. You know, you're eligible, you know. So they paid me, like, I went in there and they cut me a check for like $1,000 for each day I worked, you know, and you know, I already been paid like $200 a day in cash. And I wasn't expecting anything, you know, I didn't feel like they owed me anything. And then, you know, I go in, they cut me a check for like $4,000 out of
Oh
nowhere.
shit. Hey, so what about I remember you told me before when you did the Chainsaw Massacre, then they brought you to the original house. Is that a real thing?
No, well, it's not a true story, you know. They said based on a true story. That's all creative bullshit marketing.
That shit look hella scary though. Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no based on true story. Like, you know, it's a stretch. It's pretty thin. There was, you know, Ed Gein, and he was like killed a sheriff's deputy and did terrible things to his and dug up
Right.
graves. But he
Right.
was in Wisconsin. There was no chainsaw. He wasn't a big dude, you know. But he did make masks and, you know, more suits out of human skin than masks. But lampshades. He was a freak, but he wasn't Leatherface, you know. So I'm like, I never based Leatherface. My take on Leatherface never had anything to do with that shit. And,
Right.
you know, it's based on a true story. That's really a stretch, you know. But the house from the original movie, which we did the remake of the original story, it made it our own, updated it. They had a certain house that's now a barbecue joint in Texas for that movie. The house that we had in our movie in 2003 in the remake, that's a legitimate house. There was never you know, any crimes committed there. But there in the basement, there was, you know, slave shackles. There was, you know, like black mold on all the walls. It was this huge old place. And you know, the rooms that we shot in, they were, you know, there was other rooms like upstairs at the top of the stairs where you couldn't go more than 2 or 3 feet, you know, because you'd fall through the floor. You know, it was an actual mansion. It was originally in a different city in Texas. It was in Austin, the city, and they moved it brick by brick out into that country field off the road, the way it sits far off the road there where it is now. They rebuilt it, moved that whole house. It's like, how do you move a house like a huge house like that back in the day? What they did.
And
And
then,
so yeah, it was real, but you know, it was a real house, not a no house of horrors. So
okay.
it was
So
pretty.
what? And then when I saw you in Miami,
That was a good
right?
time.
You were shooting. What movie were you shooting there? I saw you in a club, and then all I
Any
could see
given
was like it looked like it was fog on the ground, like a cloud. And then I saw you walking across the room, and I was like, "Fuck, is that Andy?" And you was like, "Did you have a mohawk or something like that at the time?"
I had real low, a real low buzz cut, and it was
Okay.
dyed black cherry, and I had the sideburns that tied into
Yeah.
the mustache, all real tight and clean, and all bright red, not
Okay.
red, like burgundy or black
And
cherry red.
you were taking gear in the bathroom in that movie, weren't you? Or was that program?
No, that was I was doing. I
Yeah,
was
what was that?
doing drug tests in the bathroom in the program. I was taking gear in the program, you know, in my
Let
room
me
or
see.
whatever. Any given Sunday, let's
There.
just say, I mean, there would be no sense me trying to make I was natural case. I was 10, 310, 315, playing football all day pretty much. 2 days turned into all day, every day, all night, every day. And then when we were done, we'd run to the club because, you know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And
Right.
especially when that hard, I mean, it's miserable. It's rewarding, but it's, you know, like we got to go out after we work hard and then we want to go out and have a good time, you know, just like the LA, just like we were going to the Key Club, or, you know, something like that.
Right. The
Then
key club.
places we
Man, I
used to
heard that
go,
word in a long time. Key club.
right? You know how it was. We would go hit the gym, do our thing, train harder than nobody's business, and then you know we'd go hit the club in the city. And you know I'm telling the truth. That's why I ran into you at the hottest club in Miami. So there, I had like 2 handfuls of fake Super Bowl rings made by Jostens, the same company, you know, and it was for sapphires and diamonds, and they were just drippy. And
Right.
I iced out with the big chain that you know, this is all stuff that I
And
found and stuff.
that was you for in real life too, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, I was the one that told him I want to wear this chain. You know, like the links were like each link was like a skull that weighed like an ounce of silver, like full 3D skulls. And the chain was like this big Celtic cross that I have on the back of my neck. They did a mold of that. You know, it was very original. You know, it's the guy was Irish. He was you know an Irish football player,
Right.
Madman Kevin. I thought that would be you know perfect for the character. But we'd hit those clubs. You know, I'd have the sleeveless Armani on, 315 pounds, flashing all these fake, you know, Super Bowl rings. They're
Right.
real rings.
Man,
It was a fake move. I'd be like, nah, you can't jack my rings. Let me see the rings. Can I see the rings? Nah, you can't. I let them off. Like, who's this guy? What team he play for? I don't know, but that's a lot of Super Bowl rings. We got to let him into the front of the line. So we were running the place like that. Or so I thought until I saw you in the club.
We got to hear
Isn't
some
it?
club stories. We got to hear some club stories here.
I mean, look, I'm not the rated R superstar to tell this story, but let's just say Chris's pimp hand was wrong. Always been. Back in Miami, I seen stuff of legends. I'm always gonna there's some people can pull certain things off, and other people not on. No, never. Don't attempt it. Unless you know what you can do and who you are. Don't try to do stuff that ain't you. But we were wearing it. We wore it well, and you know, I don't know if there's ever been anybody that was on the scene like we were back in the day, Chris.
No,
I
man.
don't,
Yeah.
I don't know if people can pull that off or had any.
I think that's why people think I was the only one in the damn club when there was other people in the club,
I
but
never
people thought it was
seen
just me in the club.
I never seen anything like you in the club though. And I've been around the world, Chris, many times, and I've seen it all. I ain't never seen the the way you were rolling, man. You were rolling. It's a legendary thing. I wish I could say it, but I ain't gonna put that kind of behavior in that business out there. Except that
Hey,
you wish you could have that much fun while
hey,
you're
man.
alive in this lifetime. And I know the real deal. If you don't know, take my word for it. He didn't just get it. Yeah. At
Hey,
first, he was like, "I'm going to be the best bodybuilder ever, and I'm real deal." And like, I was like, "Okay, he wants to be real deal." And then he was real deal. He grew into that name, became legendary with that name. But it was more than just, that he was. He's a legend. If you know, then you know. But
hey, Andy, how tall are you, brother? How tall
huh?
are you? How tall are you?
5, 6'5".
6'5".
6'5". Because brother, we were driving to Vegas one time, me and him, right? So we're gonna go to Vegas, hang out for the weekend, Matthew, and then
Yeah.
I feel like his feet was on my dashboard and his head was in the back seat. And it was
Uh,
like I was driving this car. And he slept the whole way to Vegas. And we stayed,
Did you
remember
drive
we stayed at the Caesar's Palace. We
your
stayed at
car or
Caesar's Palace.
my car?
My car, I was driving. I drove you all the way to Vegas from LA.
You know how I know that's a good story? I never heard it before.
You know, dude, we
What can
shared
I
a room
say?
there, and we had a big ass room in the Caesar's Palace. But everywhere we would go, no one looked at me at all. They were all looking at him because he was like fucking leather face, big old 6'5"
No, no.
guy, and I was like, that was the
Other
one
face,
weekend I had totally all off, big as hell. But no one looked at me
yeah.
not even a little bit that weekend. I thought it was funny as hell.
before I was Leatherface, I was Andrew.
That's right.
You know, Leatherface didn't make it happen for me. Andrew did what Andrew did. Andrew, was behind what I do with everything. And I had a large personality and everything else pretty much. But I was larger than life, and I figured, hey, this could be a piece of cake. You can say what you want about me, but I was certainly interesting to look at.
Oh yeah,
They,
you still are.
Yeah.
You still
they,
are. And then were you friends with a lot of? Did you become friends with a lot of people that you did
huh?
movies with? You were in Higher Learning. You were in like that was Cube and all those guys. They were very young at the time. But you
Yeah.
were the skinhead in Higher Learning. That was a hell of a like yeah. Like
I,
everybody Buster Rhymes in that movie. A lot of people in that
I
movie.
miss John Singleton. He was my friend until the end of his life. I feel horrible about him. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was an interesting job, Chris. Who could pull that off with that? Let me. John was like, "Yeah, I got an idea for you for this character. I love your work, man. I think you're awesome. I want you to play this role." I'm like, "I'm in. Let's do it." And he's like, "All right, go see the makeup department, and then come back and see me." And he's like, but I had real long hair, and he's like, I can't ask you to shave your head. I'm like, yeah, done deal. You can't ask me twice. And he's like, all right, wake up and then come back and see me. And he's like, I want to have some tattoos, but I'm not quite sure. And I'm like, I'm not at all a Nazi or a racist or skinhead, not at all. And there's probably plenty of them in Pennsylvania, but not around me. Like I was doing my thing. I led my charge toward in bodybuilding and being Andrew Bryniarski, the bodybuilder. I wasn't because anybody else. But I was like, yeah, I remember people. I knew a couple of these guys. They had like the cross with the 3 points on it, supposed to be racist, like I hate, And I'm like, oh, you want to do one of them? And he's like, I'm like, yeah, the lightning bolts, like that's real Nazi stuff, right? And he's like, he goes, I got an idea. Just go to make. And I go to. I said, okay, all right, and I go to makeup. They shave my head, and then they proceed to stencil this huge swastika like Superman on my fucking in the center of my chest. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
You all up in this one, huh?
You know, John wants me to, I'm not there to be a piece of furniture. They had fired a guy and then they hired me like on Monday, fired a guy on Friday. And I was working on Monday with my head shaved and a officer like that. That pretty much told me what I was there for, and I'm not getting fired. They want Nazi Superman for this movie, I'm like, all right. And so it's a John was black, as we know, right? Legendary, Boys in the Hood, incredible. I was really stoked. Boys in the Hood. John, if you knew John, did you ever meet John?
I never met him. No.
Mother.
Oh,
Do we lose him?
let me lost him. Let me just pause that.
Wasn't really a lot written in that for my character, I didn't have the big speeches and all this stuff, but I'm hanging out with this huge swastika like I'm the Nazi skinhead Superman, and I'm, I was put together and I look good in a tank top, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm not just gonna stand here like a piece of furniture. So, what else can I do? I was like, the N word was flying out of my mouth every 2 seconds, and I'm like, what else would this guy say? You know what I mean? Like, whatever you say about what's going on, you can start with that, it's effing that, and then it's going to end with effing that. And it's like, those guys are pretty simple, right? And, to be doing that at like 23, I think, years old, with that look, it's like, for a black director who was critically acclaimed and an amazing talent. Like John Singleton was a writer, director, producer. Like John Cassavetes was that.
Oh yeah, Cassavetes.
That way. But like I don't. Who gives a fuck about Woody Allen?
Did you ever work with Cassavetes?
All I knew was that John was like he was the shit, man. He was a sport. He was the coolest dude too.
I know.
So the black guy hires me to shave my head, put the swastika on me, and has me running around spitting the N-word out for 2 seconds. Just, and here's the reason why. Because he wanted to make a movie about the dangers of racism, about how if you get caught up in that bullshit, it's gonna fucking eat you. All you dumb motherfuckers that get caught up in that, it'll eat all of you on both sides. And so he would cut from like, it's about this black fist, Nick, right? And then I'd be like, do it, Remy. Kill those monks right between your eyes.
He's a good actor, right? You believe it right
there. Yeah, I guess something about me doing that gets a bigger reaction than it's about this black fist from Buster Rhymes. Okay, I accept. But I mean, it was a situation that nobody will ever have been through or will go through. And just having like who gets an opportunity as an artist, as a young artist, I'm off the chain, right? Like I mean, and I'm working for the best in the world with the best in the world, and I'm blowing shit up and just being out of hand, But like the point is, you can't sugarcoat that bullshit in a story like that, or it doesn't have the intended effect or the desired purpose that you're doing the whole fucking movie for in the first place. it can't be like semi-sweet hatred based on racism.
Right.
You know, that's some simple shit, but it's
Yeah.
simple and it's brutally aggressive and ignorant. And
Right.
you got to
Hey.
come hard with that shit, or nobody takes you fucking seriously. Like it's a bad thing. And the last thing in the world I want, you know, like, is for kids to think that I'm trying to fucking be like the Nazi cheerleader or some shit. You know, it's all good as long as I get it at the end. And you know, like, yeah, you want to shoot those, you know, people in the head based on race and hatred. You know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So there's no
Hey.
happy ending for my character. You know what I mean? So I mean,
Yeah.
as long as you play a real scumbag and push the limits like that, as long as you get what somebody gets for doing that, you know,
Right.
then it works out.
Hey, so Andy, what I never really asked this before, but what was one of your favorite lines? What movie it was, uh, and you know what type of character were you playing? Like what line was like one of your favorite lines? What movie?
There's a scene in the program where we're at the training table. It's preseason, and they're asking, you know, I've come back like 40 pounds heavier from, you know, my previous seasons where I was, you know, like backup, you know, second stringer, sitting on the bench, and something happened to me over the summer.
Mhm.
You did.
You did some stuff.
As everybody says these days, you know, this wasn't the only thing back then, but you know, it's bologna sandwiches, as they say now. You know, so it was. I come back ready to play, and I've got a whole new attitude, and I'm dead serious, you know, and that's when people I really have everybody's attention. And James Conn says, they're new guys, you know, we have some of our upperclassmen who are going to talk about what it means for them, what football means. He goes, let's start with Latimer.
Oh shit.
Going to war, the other guys, having a chance to be somebody, staying in our own dorms, getting a chance to be different than everybody else. Not everybody gets a chance to play football.
Right.
We're the lucky.
Yeah.
You saw how he
Then
got
I
into character there. He had to get into character. It was like, see?
then I like chewing tobacco in my cup. That was between my legs. Back those days I was dipping. With kids, that's some bad stuff. Don't do that. But in my schools were doing before I came out there. So, you know, and playing Christopher Walken's son in Batman Returns was pretty amazing, and that was
Yeah.
like a 7-month job where me and Christopher Walken were just tight as hell, and they had a house for him on Sunset Plaza Drive, and I'd be over there hanging out with him, you know, his wife and random Richard Belzer and crazy people. But you know, I just decided that I would do that, and I did Christopher Walken playing his son out of necessity.
Look at
Like, yeah, out of character necessity. You know, is how I approach the best way that I could deliver on playing his son. You know, like Tim Burton asked Christopher Walken, you know, I don't know, do you think he could be your son? And Christopher Walken was like, I mean, yeah, I guess. You know, he's a big guy. He's a big guy, but you know, I'm bigger than my father was. And he's like, I look at it like this: my father was small because in the Depression they didn't have any grain, so they made the bread with the flour and sawdust. So they got the rickets, and it kept them from growing. And so, you know, I'm bigger than my father was because I had bread without sawdust. He goes, I look at Andrew and he had orange juice. So, you know, I was like, okay, I got to be my father's son. And that doing the Christopher Walken thing before anybody was doing Christopher Walken, you know, like I think the next guy I heard do Christopher Walken was Jay Moore years later. And I had known Jay already because we had the same agent. And, but yeah, I was doing the Christopher Walken thing just because I was hanging. I just picked it up, you know. It's just, I've always been a real creative person, and I love the process. I love my craft. You know, I was really born to. I was born as an artist. I've always been an artist. I've always painted and done. And I was an art major. And you know, I realized this is just another medium of storytelling, self-expression through storytelling. And my mom was a librarian, so like everything just clicked for me. I just came up with my own process of doing the Christopher Walken thing was, you know, something that needed to be done. So I'm gonna play his son. I have to sound like him. Dad,
Yeah.
do you buy this blurry business with her? And he's like, you know, I don't know, your mother. But you know, that was an awful fun thing too. But Chris, to be honest with you, I have not had a job. You know, it's like if you're given an assignment to get in shape for something, right? Back in the day, and you are you gonna if you say I'm gonna do it, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna do whatever you do. You might ask somebody that you think might know how to do it, or you might not. You might have to, you know, you're gonna trust, you know, how we did it. We were out there without a rope. We didn't have people to follow. You know, I wasn't trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was not Arnold Schwarzenegger. I did not like being compared to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I could speak English, you know, and back in the day, I thought he was a goofball, and I thought I was a bad motherfucker and trying to be as cool as I could be, you know, in the movies. And I just hope that somebody liked what I did enough to let me do it again and maybe touch somebody, you know, and make it worthwhile for my participation. And, you know, that was the right attitude to have. And my craft was already there. I just didn't know it. I didn't have it. You know, give me an opportunity and I'm going to analyze and I'm going to study it. It's like, you know, somebody could tell you, you look great, Chris, but if you know you got to go on stage, like there's different, you look great. You look great today for where you're at, or how far out you are, you know, or for what you're doing. But then there's the day, you know, you got to be together on stage. That's a different kind of look great. And you're going to word it, you know, like people can't blow smoke up our ass. Or where we come from, like you're going to get it done or you're going to be a fucking idiot. And there's nothing to hide. You know, just like bodybuilding, when you're acting, you're channeling a character that is not you, you know, but based on things that you've seen and people that you've observed or people that you know, or you know, so something you see in your head, you know, certain characteristics of a person that you could you know create all this stuff. It leaves you, you know, the camera doesn't lie, you know. And I saw like you know, like when I saw, you know, Tom McGee, just like froze like a deer in the headlight. That was a big lesson, instant lesson that I didn't learn the hard
A
way.
lot of people freeze.
So the camera, you know, it's like being in posing trunks, all oiled up under the lights on some stage. It's like you're either pulling this shit off like a boss, or you and people can lie to you if that's who you are, if that's what you'll accept, and say you were great. But like where we came from, we weren't having any of that bullshit. We were gonna get it right and come correct, right? Everything else is full. You can't pretend. There's no pretend. So even though acting is make, you know, it's that's where the craft comes in. But when you're in front of a live camera, you know, you gotta be real. You gotta be real deal. No,
That's
you
right.
know, it's not anything. If you're full of shit and you're not doing what you should be doing, you're not projecting what you want to show people, you know, as you tell the story, you know, like you have to, there's levels and nuance and all kinds of things, but your shit better come correct or you're going to look like an idiot in front of the camera on film forever and ever. The same way, you know, you're not going to become a bodybuilding champion if you come in looking like
Faking the funk.
Yeah.
Well, we do have some of those, and I got to tell you, we do have some
Yeah.
of those on the circuit.
You know, back in our day, oh, some so and so wrestler, he looks great. He's so built, you know. But like, we would look at a professional wrestler back in our day and be like, yeah, who are the guys with the best physique? Well, now let's throw them on a professional bodybuilding stage, like you come from. And these guys
Right.
are looking sick, you know, like you know, lost kids at the wrong place. They can't hold up against that level. You know, there's levels to it. So the
Right.
best thing you can do is keep it as real as you can and be the best you can be and throw your best crafty bullshit. And if it flies straight and sticks to the wall, damn son, you throw some good crafty bullshit. Don't that's what I do.
All right, Andy, man. Hey, it's been nice to catch up with you, brother. It's been a lot of years, and I know you holler at me every once in a while, but I appreciate you always hollering at me and keeping in touch over the years.
We'll have some more. Well, Chris, you're one of my favorite people. You're one of my favorite guys from that scene. You know the scene. You know,
Yeah,
I still think Gary Stridham. He's another one.
yeah,
There was some good people. You know, I don't see Dean Tornabene, but he was a good guy.
yeah.
You know, I heard Grant Henderson just passed. That's a shame. But you know, you were real close to Ken. I wasn't real close with Ken, but he was a legend. I hope he's better these days. He's had a lot of hard things happen to him. But you know, warriors, fucking warriors, man. You know,
Yeah,
and
man.
there you go. It's a pleasure and an honor to come from that era. You know,
Oh yeah,
I didn't go stages with you guys, but I was in the mix
yeah, yeah.
throwing
You was
yarn.
there. You was there.
That's like we were training harder than anybody trained at the time. These guys today, they can make a case or whatever, but nobody trained harder than we were training at the day. You know, and I'm proud of
Yeah, that's what's up.
Mike
Oh,
O'Hearn. How's he? He looks
oh,
better than
O'Hearn.
I can't believe he's had a freak. Like
Yeah.
he looks
He's-
better. It took him, you know, 40 years to dial his physique in. I mean, now what the fuck? Who does that? But seriously,
Yeah.
you know,
I know,
he
right?
was smooth and thick skin when he was like 20 years old and young. Great looking
Yeah,
kid. But he had
still
no
in
real
there.
show. And now look at him. He's a fucking colossal legend, man. He's amazing. How about
That's
who's
it.
your favorite bodybuilder these days, Chris?
I mean, it's hard to say. I just kind of look at these guys as the next generation. You know, we do have Samson that won the Mr. Olympia. I thought he was a astronomical. I mean, he was just he
What's
just
his
hit
name?
it. He hit it all. He was the closest thing to Lee Haney that we had over.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Duda? How do you say his name? Duda?
Oh,
Oh, Samson
Dauda.
Downer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the closest
Yeah.
thing we saw to Lee Haney this past year, and so now he got his hands full because uh, now they got Derek.
Now, your boy,
They got huh?
you got your boy, Mr. Neck.
Yeah, Rubio.
He's like, you know, you know,
Yeah, and then
I came from the East Coast and AAU, you know, before
He's gonna be dangerous. Yeah.
yeah,
guys. But he's like the Black Jeff King.
yeah, yeah. He had the
All
Jeff King
sides
neck,
of that, you know, like
right?
size
Quads and neck.
Fuck.
Hey, he's coming. He's coming
Those
though. And
guys'
then
necks is bigger than their ears. Their necks are wider than their fucking ears on their head.
that's the old
Oh,
Mike Tyson look.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Mike Tyson, don't tell him I said so because he doesn't. He's not a poser, Mike Tyson. But nobody has. I mean, there's some crazy bodies out there.
Oh
I just
yeah.
think, what do you think about where the physiques have gone, like in terms of, because I pushed the envelope, you pushed the envelope, all the people like our generation, we did what we had to do. We took it further hot. We took it higher, than it had been, and it's
And they're
come
gonna, and that's the attitude. You still want to do your best, but you're gonna push it as far as you can push it and do what you're gonna do. So
today's physique.
that's where we're at now.
The physique, some of the physiques of today, they've taken it and pushed it higher than some of us have gone. I don't know if it's better. I don't know if it's better. We have some great bodybuilders, and then we have, just what do you think when it goes too far?
I don't know. I just don't think you need to feed yourself over the line of your frame can carry. That's what I like to
right?
do. I like to keep. I like whatever frame you got. You got to stay within that playing field for me.
That's why you were so. That's why we look good. I think
Yeah.
symmetry mattered. I always said don't lift weights to look stupid, and I guess the answer to my own question is it's an individual pursuit. Not a team sport. And some people go places I wouldn't go, but I was never trying to look like an idiot. Some people just don't give a anymore about they take it. I think that what you said, like you can only take your frame so far and be the best you could be. But then there's some levels where dudes are just spilling over, spilling out, and maybe it's too much. So that I don't know. I just always said don't lift weights to look stupid. You want to
Right.
you don't want to look like you're gonna pull your quad getting out of bed in the morning and trying to tie your sneaker. You don't want your hamstring to snap like a rubber band. Because, you can't do your hair, you can't scratch your back. You can't tie your shoes. Like some of these guys are really pushing it, but
All
later,
right, man. We're
so
gonna
older, it's to hurt.
we're gonna cut it out here, man. But I'm gonna be in touch with you. I got your number, and
Please
then
do.
let's stay in touch. All right.
Anytime, Chris. I love you to the end. And
All
my
right, my
friend,
brother. Love you too,
very,
my man.
very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you,
And
brother.
good luck with this podcast. And
Thank you.
later, Chris, I want to talk to you about maybe figuring out emceeing some shows or something like that, or
All right.
finding a way to get back in, like on the nostalgia legend kind of thing.
You got to do it,
So
man.
I'd like to make
You got to
some
do
money
everything
doing.
you can.
Yeah, but
Cool, brother.
I'm talk to you about it. You're the man that's locked,
All right,
living
hit me
life.
up then.
Real deal. Peace and love,
All
man.
right.
Thank you.
Yes,
You have a
Appreciate
good
guys.
you,
one.
Andy.
See ya.
Thanks for
Yeah,
coming on.
you
All right, that was awesome, Andrew. Man, it was cool to have someone like that on the show, doing
Yeah.
things differently here, trying to get on
Yeah.
some different guests and different ideas and talk about different things, and that was cool, man. So
Yeah, man. Not all
yeah,
sets and reps all the time.
no, but we'll jump into bodybuilding here. We want to talk about Rubel here first, and he just finished competing and at the Mr. Big Evolution show. So again, I mean, you've worked closely with Rubel. You've been talking about him for years. When the naysayers were like, "Man, this guy is just not gonna, it's not gonna happen with Rubel," and
Yeah,
you
I
got
need to give up. I need to give up all hopes and all this stuff. So,
yeah, yeah,
guess what? I'm still the delusional guy that don't know what I'm looking at, don't know what I'm talking about. But I still feel like people think that this is all he's going to be now, and not get a leaner physique. I think every show he's doing now, just like
Yeah.
everyone had a career before, you got leaner, you got more denser, you got more leaner and more dense.
Yeah.
And now I think his physique is getting more balanced, more balanced. You know, you either got to pick the right poses and you got to pose the right way
Yeah.
for his physique to really blossom and be what it all it can be. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a little bit of tinkering with his posing, and also the mindset. Because mind you, when I was with him in Prague, he turned pro. That's the day before, doing the competition with the professionals. During
Yeah.
that time, during that time, I was telling people he didn't know everything he needed to know. He was on the standing far to the left when everybody's right here in the middle. And I was telling him, come over here. Like, how many professionals you need to tell to come over here? How many
Yeah.
professionals do you need to tell them, okay, move this? I was like almost like a puppet master the whole time he was on stage, but he's up the stage with some of the best in the world, the likes of Samson and
Yeah.
Crezo and Nathan, and he was battling straight up with these guys without really knowing what he was doing. I like what he's doing as far as getting smarter. He's getting harder. He's getting better. He's you know, I mean, if you just look at the body, all you got to do is stay sharper on the diet in the off season, and
Look at that. Yeah.
he's gonna be a rich man. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I would stay as clean as possible in the off season on my diet. If he was I think what can happen at this year's Olympia, he can have that Nasser effect. I competed against Nasser. He was seventh place his first Olympia. I was sixth. That was in 1994. The next year, he was being compared, 1996 or five or six or whatever. He was being compared to to Dorian. When he's
Yeah.
compared to Dorian, I mean, it was just from the freak factor alone got him in a call out with Dorian. I wasn't getting those call outs. I was in the top six my first few years, but I wasn't getting called out with Dorian. So I think
No.
this body can be that type of effect on this generation. The Nasser
Yeah.
effect.
The Nasser effect. And the thing is, he's 27. Okay. Like, and he's won two pro shows back to back. He beat out Nathan Diaz. Now the thing is, he's beaten Nathan before, which
Yeah,
is
and
the,
that first
right.
show, that first
Yeah.
show, yeah. I mean, his side poses are, I mean, you got the lines of striations through his quad. You
Yeah.
have
Okay.
uh you know the back double bicep is improving, last spread is improving. He's still got a little bit of tinkering he can do with some body parts, but I do see a lot more lines coming in the legs, and I've seen striations in his quads. People don't think he has them, but he has them. It's just going to be the
Yeah.
right amount of water in his physique and the right amount of everything, but the density is coming, and oh yeah, I think he's going to be a problem.
And talk about the muscle, the clean muscle look. Like this is what it was back in the day. Like when you
Yeah,
guys were competing, that fresh.
right.
Like it's rare to see
And
it.
and and that's going to be one of his strengths. One of his strengths is going to be his body looks really busy for a big guy. There's not a lot of
Look at that.
cloudy cuts and cloudy looking physiques. His body is very busy for a big guy like that. Very busy with every inch of his body
It's
got something jumping off right now, and it's only going to get better. And that's all he needed was time. He needed more time. I was telling people many times I talked about him. I said all he needs is time, and when he does that, bring in more shows and more time under his belt, you're going to see what I saw. and I think that's going to be a problem for a lot of people. He's gonna
Yeah.
leapfrog a lot of good bodybuilders this year.
So where do you see him then? Can he be top 10 Mr. Olympia this year?
Most def, most def, no problem, no problem.
Yeah.
He's gonna get leaner from now for the next 14 weeks. He's not gonna be this. He's not gonna be off. He's in shape now.
No.
He's not gonna get fat. I mean,
No.
I walk behind him sometimes. He got striations in his quads. I mean, in his calves when he walks in the off
Yeah.
season. So
Yeah.
he's not gonna get fat. This is a lot of muscle, and he has more muscle than most people on stage right now today, if not
Yeah.
everybody. So
Yeah.
that's all he has to do.
He's
And I
coming and
think
he's getting better every show. Yeah.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think he just tasted some real, some money. The blood's in the water.
Hmm.
I think that's gonna do something to you. It's gonna make you hungrier.
Yeah. No. So good on Neckzilla for doing the job and getting on stage and doing these shows back to back and collecting a check and getting some more stage time and confidence
Yeah.
and posing is improving.
Oh
So I
yeah.
mean, people can't count him out, man. The judges
Yeah.
like him. The
Not no
fans,
more.
they're coming around.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
man.
So some of these poses,
Let's go over the posing.
it's
Let's go over the posing a little bit.
okay.
Let's start from the front double
Okay,
bicep. Do
so
you like the
so
crucifix when he
so
puts his arms?
nah, I think that particularly shows, he has shorter arms than a lot of guys, and you're just displaying that on full display. And right here, you have to turn the arms downward
Yeah.
so you can get the triceps
Tricep.
involved more. So you got to twist the arm down towards, rotate it towards the crowd so you can get the triceps involved in this pose.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I would just go up right into my front double bicep. It's not the strongest pose for him, but I would just go right up
Okay.
into it.
Okay. So Rubel's watching. What does he need to work on in this pose? What needs to improve?
If it were me, like when I was around him, I had him open his feet a little bit more. I don't like a really
Hmm.
big guy with their feet that close together.
Yeah.
Not that you have to, there's always like your feet can be as wide as your armpits. Like you don't have to be as far as that. But I mean, if he's
His
I
legs are
think
so
you want,
big, though.
yeah, I know. I wanted to
It's
good,
like
I know. And that's the
it's
factor.
like
Like
that.
think about the fire he started doing cardio. Holy shit.
Yeah, man. This rubbing. It's like, I don't know if you watch Seinfeld. It's like that where the George Costanza in the pants episode.
So, but I would probably open the feet just to get a little bit more out of the physique and stuff. But
Yeah.
but all in all, if he feels comfortable, just if he can get more separation going up into his hip area with that
Hmm.
sartorius muscle popping, that's good because a lot of people don't have all of that jumping off.
No. And what about the biceps? That's where he gets some clap back in the triceps in this pose.
Well, some of it's going to come from maybe tilting back more so this way,
Yeah.
um, but it's not terrible.
It's not
It's
terrible.
not terrible, and I could see that being somewhat improved as he go on, as he
Yeah.
start to pose, as he does shows.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go through there. That's front double. Remember, look at the midsection. He's able flat stomach. It's a little bit of a vacuum in these poses too. One of his
Yeah,
best poses, front lat.
I think I liked a little bit of the flexing, the the the
With the leg.
abs, like, but
Oh,
I'm talking about. I don't know about the legs. I would
okay.
probably, I would like to see them both flared, not just flaring one. I think
Okay.
that's for I think guys do that when they don't have a lot of really good connection up into their upper thighs. I think he's
Hmm.
able to do that. I've seen him do it before.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like how it's staying a little bit busy in the midsection instead of just going to
Yeah.
a back.
Yeah, I like it like this. You really see the abs popping
Yeah, because
here.
his abs are crazy good for a big guy.
Crazy abs. Yeah. Side chest.
And the side chest, you can contract a little bit like he's doing here, or you can vacuum up a little bit. I
Yeah.
particularly think he would be fare better if he made himself as big as possible here. This is not.
So
This is kind of condensing him down into it. It's not.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not opening up into a pose. But I think he can get a little bit more out of his frame if he went for more volume in that pose.
Yeah. Obliques. Nice.
I do
Good.
like I like him to do that. He just if he could go back a little bit,
Yeah.
if he can keep his body towards his arm towards his body more,
Okay.
right when it come down, let his arm come down, the 3/4 shot. Right there, stop.
Okay. Keep
Go
going a bit.
back. Go back.
I missed
Let
it.
him stop in that 3/4. Anyway, but
Oh,
if
I
he
see.
had his arm
Yeah.
closer to his body in that pose, that's gonna really make that pop out. You can't have it even right here. The elbows coming out towards the crowd more. You gotta suck that in right here. When the arm is down, you got to bring that closer to your own body. You can't have
Okay.
it
Okay.
extended like that. So let's keep going. Back double.
Christmas tree.
And he does have a good lines in the back. He does
Yeah.
have good back double bicep. I like him turning the head to the side, get a little bit more out of his trapezius up into the base of his skull. I like
Yeah.
that. Then you could turn the arms back a little bit towards the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people are
Show
starting
the
to
bicep.
see, the glutes he has, the glutes get striated, the
Yep.
hams can still improve more, but no one has that type of size in the calves and the legs and all that stuff. So all he has to do is keep on chiseling up and
Yep.
shaping up, and he's gonna be a problem.
Definitely. So good assessment of Rubel. We can go into Bruno a little bit. Da-da-da-da. Get out of this. Well, let's go into. Let me stop the share, and we'll go into Bruno here. Let me get out of this. Well, let's just go right into the topic at hand, where everyone's kind of
Okay.
chiming in. That's Nathan and Bruno, right? And it's it is what it is with the placings, and we respect what the judges do and the decisions they make. But your thoughts on this? We haven't spoken about it yet, right? I haven't talked to you about this. So, pose for pose, how did you see it turning out? Do you think it was right for Nathan to be in third, or or
Um,
second is where he should have been deserved? There's lots of people that have come out, like Fuad. This came out today, said I think Nathan should have easily had second. He's not afraid to say it. Like, there's lots of people coming out of the woodwork saying something happened here.
I would no, I would have went for Nathan for sure in this
Yeah,
this competition. Um,
yeah,
I just think the leg size also. Like you can say somebody goes there hold that back. They'll not hold it. Somebody goes they'll say okay the leg development. He was just too smaller in the legs. He's got to get bigger legs. He's got to improve his whole lower body.
yeah,
Um, the back here is two different type of backs. I just see more going on in the back door bicep of Nathan.
yeah,
I like both guys. Don't get me wrong, but I just
yeah.
think for a
Both great.
bodybuilding show, um, I wasn't there, so maybe Nathan sees something different. I would like more contracting, like he's leaning way back on this
Hmm.
pose, and Nathan is kind of upright, and you can actually see the physique.
Yeah,
And
the
it just
symmetry.
when him leaning, I think when he's leaning back further like that, Nathan have a longer torso, he has a shorter torso. And with
Yep.
the shorter torso, with the longer legs, I see the more balance on Nathan. I don't see the same on Bruno.
Lat spread. You can just see the hamstrings right away. I just noticed the hamstrings on Bruno. It's just not at the level, the thickness of the quad from the back. It's not there.
Yeah,
The sweep.
yeah. So
So
I mean, I could see the lower, a little bit lower lat, for Bruno, but
yeah,
I just feel
yeah,
like, but that's a shot right there. But
yeah,
it was just, for me,
yeah. It
last
just
spread.
it's lat spread. I mean, that's maybe a closer one for Bruno on
Yeah,
Nathan.
close up with Bruno. I mean, he's got a
Yeah,
little bit more balance he's showing because,
yeah,
we know that Nathan got the longer torso here.
yeah.
Uh, but I would, even if we did some type of contracting and bringing the waist smaller or
Hmm.
shorter, instead of trying
Yeah,
to vacuum up, I would have fared Nathan out a little better here. All in
yeah,
all, okay, that's a shot here. Um, Side
yeah.
chest,
Side
that's
chest.
that's a slam dunk for Nathan.
Yeah, not much to talk
That's
there. He
a
needs to
three
work.
three sixty slam dunk.
Yeah, chest thickness, delts, arms, even the
Yeah,
quad separate, the tightness in the side quad here. You can see the detail of the
yeah.
tie-ins. It's sharper. So yeah. And ab and thigh. What do you think about the ab and thigh?
Um, well, I like Nathan's. Got the bigger legs here. They,
Yeah,
I could see a little bit more lower ab development tightness on Bruno, but looking at the whole body, I would
yeah,
say I would go for the thicker look right here.
yeah, yeah. The legs stand out right away. As soon as I see this, Bruno just needs more
Yeah, yeah.
more
You see all
quad.
the development up top, all the developments
Yes.
up top for Bruno. More balanced physique with Nathan.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So tough one there, but it is what it is. Nathan's taking it pretty good and not really saying too much about it. He's just accepting the outcome, which is good. I mean, you can't. I think you kind of learn that you can't really go off on it because it's just not doesn't help the situation.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you know,
yeah, it is what it is. It's a
yeah.
place, and
So
I as I look back, I see some shows that I uh, probably shouldn't have been in second or in first, and I was in there, so it
yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah, man. So next show, there's a bit of a break, and then I think the next show is Tampa coming up. So I think
Okay.
Quentin's doing that.
Oh yeah, Quinn. I've been waiting
A
to
few
see Quinn for the past year after you had the last showing was in Canada, wasn't it?
Toronto. Yeah,
Toronto, yeah. So yeah, since then I've been waiting to see him, you know, come out here and show his physique and show his hard work, and he has so much potential.
yeah, man.
So much potential in his physique. I remember seeing him up close and did some posing with him when he came down to Tampa a few years ago. And man, the
Yeah,
physique on this guy, man, holy shit. He
it's
he's
just.
another problem. He's a hybrid. Like he
Mhm.
can be a shorter, smaller guy, but to have all that real estate on his physique, man, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's just the formula of him when he diets down the legs. He gets the thinner, stringy look sometimes, and it's just like it's tough because
Well, I
he
mean,
looks
he has
great here.
that big frame, man. That big
Yeah.
frame. So it's got to be the right weight, and it's got to be
Hmm.
the right everything with that type of frame. That can take a long time to build, but I mean, look at the the potential in this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets striated glutes. He has the calves. He has the hamstrings. He has the quads. He has the abs. He has the lat spread. He has the thickness and the width. So he has everything he needs to utilize.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, you know, if it's gonna be conditioning, I know he can do it.
Yeah.
Um, you're just gonna have to work at the dieting part, and if you want to thin his skin out some more, like I think his back is holding a little bit more thickness,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a commitment in the off season for the diet, I would believe. But he
Yeah.
could do anything he wants to do in the sport. He had no reason why he can't do anything he want to do.
Definitely. Definitely. So looking forward to seeing Quinn get back on the stage. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Maybe he can pull out a win here, qualify for the Olympia. I don't think he's been to the
Man, it'd be
Olympia yet.
amazing to have
So
him in the Olympia, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Amazing. It's
So
already shaping up to be an amazing Olympia. I'm really excited about all the prospects coming in. It seems like we don't really have a huge drop off in talent for the
no,
Olympia this year. It's not a huge
no,
drop off in
everyone.
talent from start to finish. All the guys in it are, Derek did his thing early on.
Yeah,
He's coming back to renew his title. Samson is doing his thing. I see he's cranking it up now.
yeah.
Uh, got super large. He's a big dude, man. When he's coming to the room, he's a big dude, and man,
That's the thing, man. He's got to refine it, though. He's got
yeah,
enough size. He's just gotta, look right here is the update. So
yeah. That's Mr. Olympia,
13
man.
weeks out.
So
Yep.
that's definitely
We can't,
Mr. Olympia.
we can't count him out. Yeah, he lost to Derek at the Arnold, but I mean that's a little slip up. That's okay.
Yeah,
He knows what he's got to do. He's got to bring in that razor sharp conditioning. We're all going to be expecting it, and that's the tough position he's in now because if he doesn't bring it, it's an excuse for the judges to be like, "Well, man, it's not there. You're
yeah,
not as
yeah,
sharp." So
yeah.
it's
And
it's gonna be tough.
then and then Nick, I want to see a call out with Samson, Nick,
Yeah,
uh, and let's say
Hottie's gonna be in
Port
there.
Neckzilla,
Neckzilla.
Hottie. I mean, bring out the big guns. Let all the big guns shoot it out. It don't even have to be the first call out. I just want to see a call out with those guys gunning, just all guns are blazing. Believe
Andrew's got a lot to
Andrew.
prove.
Yeah, Andrew can get up there with that call out. How many flashes gonna be flashing? You see all those guys in the call out together. That's gonna be crazy.
Oh man, it's gonna be a tough first call out. I think it's gonna be a weird call out. Like I think Steve might call out 8 guys. He's done that before, where it's the first call and there's like
Right.
8, 9 guys, and
Man, I want to see
I
some. I
don't.
want to see some three guys. I want to see some three guys
Yeah,
come out. I want to see three guys come out and
yeah,
just have a battle.
yeah, because it's such a deep. It's gonna be so competitive. Where you have Neckzilla in there, Nick Walker, Andrew Jacked, Tony O'Burton's gonna be in there. So
Yeah,
it's like
man.
he could do a top 8 call out just to kind of see everyone on the stage together in that first group,
You have
and
a
then
bunch of
start pulling people
killers.
back.
You have a
Yeah,
bunch of killers, man, to choose from. So,
it's gonna be
hopefully, and someone's gonna not hit their peak. I get all that, but
yeah,
everybody
hundred
who's
percent.
qualified is a great bodybuilder so far that I see.
Yeah,
So
no
yeah,
dark
man, the
horses.
open is gonna be probably. They keep saying it's getting deeper, but now I think it's nice and deep now.
Definitely.
Deep
If
lineup.
Hardy can make it, yeah, if Hardy can make it.
If
I hope
Baruz
he
can
makes
make
it.
it, if
Baruz,
Baruz can make it
man,
over, it's gonna be something.
it's gonna be
It's
great,
gonna
man.
be something.
You got Martin Fit, can't count Martin Fitzwater out again. Another guy that could be like this is gonna be insane. This is gonna be
All Martin has to do is come in there like he did last time at this Olympia, sharp as attack,
yeah, yeah,
and bring it. Just all he has to do is do that. Do him, you know. Don't try to worry about trying to outshine someone else's physique. Just whatever physique he needs to bring for his frame, stay within his frame and just dice it out nice and dense. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, man. I don't know. He's gonna have his work cut out for him, but if he comes in razor sharp, doesn't matter what the size on these guys.
Right?
It gets Andrew and stuff, but he beat Andrew already, so I mean,
It can
do it
be
again.
done.
Yeah.
Can be done.
So
You know, I like the back and forth battle with him and Andrew
yeah.
from the Texas days into all up into the show they had in England, and then back
Yeah.
down they ran it back again at Olympia. He placed ahead of Andrew, but Andrew wasn't on top of his game, so we
No.
will see how that's going to play out.
Brandon Curry. We're not even talking about Brandon Curry. Like he could be
Brandon
back up in the
Curry,
mix there. Bone-X.
Brandon
This is gonna be
Curry,
insane.
Brandon
This
Curry has the you know, he has that prototypical Miss Olympia physique. You know,
yeah.
the upper body's stronger. We all know that, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's he still has that wide back, and he still has that you know that shape that he was came to win him a title before. He's not
Yeah,
far
man.
off of it.
Man, and Bone-X gonna be in there. Like this is gonna be insane.
Bonac, and
Exciting.
he's been competing all year. Abundance been competing all year.
Yeah, man.
He brought some more size. Came down a little bit with the shape, but in this last one in Dubai. But now he has some time to relax it and turn it back. You know, we got 13 weeks or so, and
Yep.
yeah, that's going to be that.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there. This is a good one. Got a bunch on this one with Andrew and all this, and
Yeah,
we're gonna keep surprising people. We're gonna have some guests that.
yeah, for sure, brother.
Awesome.
Appreciate you
All
having
right,
me
bro.
on, and we
No
will
problem,
be
brother.
in. I'll see you soon.
We'll do it again, man.
Hey,
Like
y'all,
always. All
like,
right.
comment, subscribe. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going, brother. All right.
All
Peace,
right.
guys. Catch you on the next one.